Yeah, I think we can start this. Yep. Oh, I remember there was a time I spoke about Enugu. Yeah, Enugu State. I actually received a call. Yeah, Enugu State, River State, and Lagos State. We actually received a call from River State, a referral actually, and the commissioner spoke with us and is going to call back. They are preparing for the International Youth Day on August 12th. So, things are happening. But it's also important to revisit a few issues or finish them up. Uh, I spoke about Enugu, yes. I remember that the then Enugu Disco MD of Enugu Disco, Robert man, and in his need, he needed to meter about 50 million households, according to him. And he only needed the governor of the state to invest in the company, and they would make the money together under a public-private partnership, PPP arrangement. But I think he couldn't get across to the governor then, apparently because the cabinet members couldn't see the bigger picture or whatever the reason is. So sometimes I tell leaders, and I won't stop saying that, please be accessible. I remember one of the big men that I mentioned, something came up, and the thing came up like 4 times, and I need this man. I never mentioned that I knew him, and I just stomach everything. And I asked him, where are you? I need to see you. And he gave me an appointment within 48 hours. And when I got to him, we talked, I asked him some questions, who are people that are part of your company, who is investing in your company, this and that and that. And I told me he could bring out the papers, what's the issue. I didn't tell him what the issue was directly, and I just gave him some counsel. Whenever you're doing serious business meetings, make sure it's only you and your friends that are there. No cleaner, no houseboy, no, there's not even the son of your children, you're not the children of your friends, except if that child is running a business, And I just made some, and he listened. So sometimes I don't know how people do this. Find a way to make sure that you don't lose out on real information as leaders. Like I said, Oyedepo is very huge, very big up there, but you'll find out that there's nothing from the low level that is important for his attention that doesn't get to him. It's a system. If it's a system. I've learned it and it works for me, and it still works for me till date. So every leader, take care of yourself. Robert Ikeman left Nigeria in 2016. There was an exodus of expatriates from Nigeria because of the recession that followed the electoral victory of President Muhammad Buhari, and no minister for about 8-9 months, no economic direction and all that. A lot of my friends left. A lot of my expatriate friends left, and I also packed my load that year. I'm coming to that. So I've said this, do yourself a lot of good by having intelligent people on your team rather than being afraid of their intelligence, because incompetency is really expensive in the long run and eventually affects everybody, including you, the leader. I say you will not get money by always running to Abuja. As a state governor, you have to make your states look like Fashola did, and you will be respected by Abuja. So the next southern governor should please note this. Fashola is a human being, he doesn't have 2 heads. Lagos is a very crazy place, it's a ghetto, but it turned it around, it turned Oshodi around. He did a lot. He thinks through issues. I remember when he wanted to do the landscaping, he said since he was a secondary school student, he's been seeing a particular man at Maryland who is an horticulture. And he liked the way the man handles flowers, gardens, and all that. So when he became governor and he saw he need to do a lot of landscaping around the state, he specifically told the state to go to so place at so junction at Maryland and go and call the man that owns that place. And spoke to Baba in Yoruba, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to make Lagos. Baba was like, me, the roadside horticulture, how can I handle the state? I don't sabi book. He said, don't worry, they will write the book for you, but you are the one that can do the work. You can assemble your team. You have children that went to school, call them, let us talk to them. He could have given the project of contracts to his friends. He knew who knew the job. Go and call him. And you can see the things that man has did in Lagos State. How he didn't have to push for a federal cabinet appointment. They said, I didn't know, I was not privy to that, but they said President Buhari was the one who said, whatever he takes, I need this guy on my team. So even if Tinubu does not like him, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, it's there. So, and it's the principle that has worked for me. Generate results. Leave other stories. When it's time, the people that need you will call you. Psychophants is their problem. Whatever they want to say, gossip. People that want to blackmail you with pennies is their problem. People that, whatever. When it's time, the results will speak for itself. So, I remember also in Ogun State, we have a then Commissioner for Trade and Investment, and she's very quiet, always there. The governor gave her the power to do whatever she needed to do on investment, and she was responsible for Ogun State Investment Forum. And you can go and look for her records about there. Quietly, you don't even see her before the media, no media paparazzi. But she brought a lot of billions, mobilized billions and the private sector to the state. No noise, no photo ops, just results and all that. So everybody needs such people on the team and on their table by all means. Having said that, now I want to move properly to the CILT-CIOTA issue. In 2016, like I said, it was a peak for me. I had to make a tough decision to leave Nigeria. Packed up my apartment, I've said that severally. Suddenly, I had an assignment at NES. I met Greg Ogbefo and gave him my document. You helped me talk to Dahoko. Me, I was going to Europe to handle a few things. NES carried their letter, Abuja, blah, 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 where Dr. Doyin Salami is scattered ground. And I was afraid for him they were going to order his arrest. But unfortunately, the president says to me now, what can we do to revive this economy? Oh my God. Also in December of that year, no, at the next 22, I can't remember whether it was after that presentation or before. Something happened at the Congress hall, and I took the microphone and I spoke. And when I spoke, I caught someone's attention, and he looks back. Is there a maritime person here? Is there a master person here? And the person happened to be Alhaji Ibrahim Jibril, President CILT. Quiet man, a diplomat, very intelligent, very powerful. So I was so happy. Oh, we exchanged cards. I told him what my challenge was. Oh, the master people, this is that. He said he would take me to the DJ and all that. That was October. I had already packed my apartment, so I got to the airport in Lagos and gave them signal, start moving the trucks. Oh, start moving the trucks, they moved the road and all that. As at December, I needed to go and meet him. Oh my God. So, and I went to see him. We sat down. We talked. He even ordered food for me that day. In case you end up watching this video and you're forgotten. He clicked with what I was saying immediately. Moved their board to adopt what we wanted to do. Oh my God. I have moved our office. I've moved my home. I was living. He sprang into action. They had to give us a smaller office within their office for us to be able to run that particular project. Because our team can be whether in Ilupejo and Ikeja and your team is in Ikoyi. What we want to do is a joint thing, and the work is so huge. So even if it's a room, we took our chairs, our speakers, and everything, we took it there. And we actually kickstarted that. You see, one problem that I have, that I know I have, that I've seen, is my intelligence and my proactivity. I'm very, very proactive. I'm not a Nigerian person. I'm not a Nigerian. There's no blood of Nigerian in me. I can think 100 years ahead. I'm making a decision now. What you are saying is now. What I am saying is the future. What I'm saying is the connect. My brain works like a brain of an engineer. All the wires may look so scattered to you. All the parts may look like this is 3,000 parts. I understand everything. I understand where the end of the wire will lead to. I understand the impact of decisions made and not made. I understand everything. So it's always very difficult for people to catch up with me. Initially, I didn't know he was a problem. It was one of the reasons why the chief told me, Princess, this is not Nigeria. No, but that work started, and but his primary assignment was Nimasa. So if Nimasa calls him, if he goes to work today, for instance, and Nimasa says you're traveling, he's traveling. You understand? But his Ned was a kind of old man, not really as fast-paced as I am. Number two, because of what was on my table then, I needed to travel, I needed to go and get pregnant, I needed to go and meet Alex and all that. So one thing or the other is always holding me back since 2014, 2015, 2016. That was the major challenge that I faced as a woman, with a vision for employment solutions, the maritime and all the assignments that we had, there are some things you can't just delegate. There are some workers that won't talk to anybody. So we actually went to move our loads from the store. He could attest to that. And I was on one of my fruits. That's it. Nigeria, is it going to work or not? Because we had funding to mobilize, we know what we wanted to do. At the point, I just left everything. Of course, I see him talk. On the last day that he was leaving, retiring, I knew it's the best day. I'm September 7, he's September 10. So I said I was going to be there. So I went straight to his office to greet him. And when I got there, I didn't see him on the seat. And he was the what? Ronke. Oh my God, Alaji, you are there. What? I know he was wearing his mask and all that was on. And I knelt beside him. He said, I've been very quiet. I said, yes, because I fought. I've been fighting. He said, I had. I said, yes, so I fought Greg. He laughed. He said, I had. And we just talked. Alaji, where are you going? Are you going to Kaduna? Are you going to be in Lagos? And I said, it's going to be in Lagos. But honestly, I didn't know that his tenure was going to be extended. If I knew his tenure was going to be extended by 1 year, I would have gone to see him. Actually, when we were at Hilton on 2016 October, he had just been appointed as president. So subsequent talk, he asked me to be at the presidential thing, handing over and all that. So he's been president for 4 years now, going to 5 years. I do not have any problem with the man. And I don't think he has any with me. And I'm saying this and I'm saying it, putting it on record. He's a very, very powerful person. He's a very, very intelligent person. He's a top diplomat. So, that's what I know about him. Very, very intelligent, very, very powerful. Very, very intelligent. So he knows me, he could pick my brain, and he knows how to move things. Having said that, maybe in 2018, I can't remember. I think it should be 2018. Dr. Bashir Jamo was an ED finance. I didn't know him in 2018, I knew him in 2013. Also, if he ends up watching this video. 2013, he was an ED. Myself and Sapita Olorunfemi were coming from Akpobolo Kemi's office. Sapita Olorunfemi came because of me. I have a paper on the table and I was in Abuja and they asked me to come, so I tried to join the meeting because I was here now the headache. We had a program with Chamber of Shipping, and that program, Mr. Olorunfemi was engaged as a financial consultant. He was trying to seek partnership for us and all that. When we came down from Akpobolo Kemi's office and went to Dr. Bashir Jamo's office, and they saw the man, he was furious, like, Oga, when you were in the bank, we were small boys. You didn't treat us well. I'm not paying you back for what you did then, but unfortunately, I'm not going to do this thing that you brought. And he said, I mean it, I'm not going to do it. Dr. Bashir Jamo, if he doesn't know where I knew him, that was how I got to know him. And that scares me, like, he was a sharpshooter straight to the point. It made the man understand that he's not trying to pay back, but he can't accommodate this now because he has something on his table that is going to have a blah, blah, blah. That first experience triggered me like, what kind of direct person is this? So when we got into the lift, I said, Mr. Abeka, what did you do? He said, he can't remember. What did you do? He said, he can't remember what this guy is talking about, but he had tears in his eyes, practically shaking. And I learned a lesson. Whatever anybody does, even to a gatesman, to a cleaner, to a janitor, it's not lost though. One day, you will be so shocked where you're going to meet that person, and you never can tell the spiral effects of your action. I learned the lesson. Sapita Olorunfemi could not come back, so Dr. Bashir Jamo for anything. And I also kept my distance until 2016. 2016 October, I was at the hotel fighting for my life. September, I had handed over paper to Greg Ogwevu to talk to the people. He had turned the paper, the documents, and the same time issue to his own personal agenda as stars and so on. Now the minister had set up a committee to look into the human capital issues at Oro. So I had to go to a hotel by myself on the International Maritime Day to speak for myself. So I was scrambling for the microphone to talk to Dakuku. It just came so that at least put my name on register. I did here. I know some of them may remember that day or not. I still have the pictures and all that. Then Dr. Bashir Jama was sitting at one corner like, hey, who is this girl talking about our agents? 2017, Maritime Agenda took all of us together, Abuja, and all that. I didn't know that he knew me, he was taking notes, until the day he called me and sat me down with Mr. Gambo Ahmed. That what is wrong with it? Listen very well. What is wrong with this lady's job within our system? She's very hardworking. And I was taken aback. How did he know me? How did he know? Hey, this man that was very harsh to Salon Femi. Salon Femi is dead now. Hey, he said she is very, and he sat us down and me, arguments, me and I got go, hey, yeah, I don't agree, this is that, this is this, this is this. And the two of us, when we finished all our English, he laughs. He said, this is how me and him used to fight. He's from the private sector and from the public sector. He said, but you, too much grammar. He calls me too much grammar, and I will laugh. When I finish the grammar talk. But for him to have said that, he said, we all know you. You have done 50% of the work. You don't need introduction anywhere. What is happening to her work within our system? She is very hardworking. Honestly, I do not have a personal relationship with him for him to have known me that much. But for him to have said that, actually when I fought with Greg, he was one of the 3 people that I sent a message to. If you hear me say I make no vex, I do fight, and I want to fight. It's like, what happened? The rest is history. I know people in their personal capacities. Now, in 2018, like I said, in one of those days, I walked into his office, and there was a lot of rejoicing. And he was screaming. And everybody was saying, oh God, you're so supersonic, you are this, you are that. And so I'm very happy. I said, the noise is too much. What's happening? He just got the presidential assent for the CILT-CIOTA bill. The National Assembly just passed it. And Dr. Dakopetasai was not in the country. He asked them to be celebrating. There were media releases and all that. I'm the president. This and that. Everyone was like, oh my God. I just sat there. I was just there. Joined in the celebration and all that. And on my way out, I took the form from Mrs. Iki. So I am connected to both CILT and CIOTA professionally. Like I said, I tried to run a program with CILT, which was bigger than me. There is this lacuna or this constant struggle between the older generation and the younger generation in the maritime industry. The older generation are doing things the way they deem fit. The younger generation are there struggling to understand why the older generation doesn't understand them or their needs. So, whichever way, I'm connected to both parties. That program has been on since 2013. It's a flagship program. The first person I took it to was Mrs. Ife Akirele, who was shut in the door at me, saying I was too intelligent, and she didn't respond to me. Until somebody called her. I said, I don't know what they discussed. I don't know. I just received a call from her. Why did you tell me that you know our board member? Why did you tell me that this and that? I said, which board member? What's my business? Somebody had called her. And she told the person that lady is too intelligent. But the person said, if somebody is intelligent, is that how to treat her? So she called me for that meeting. I was angry, but I went. This is the way Nigerian women do themselves. But my experience makes it important for me to talk about those things. So I went for the meeting, which was the reason why we carried Dr. Femi along, because he has now left the bank. He was consulting. He was at mobile site in Okoyi, Awolowo Road, while Chamber of Shipping was also off Awolowo Road on my time at Sule. Opposite to them was number 7, where Mrs. Ibuka Woshika had the AGDC, and AGDC was being headed by my Oga, Mrs. Etom Bobo, who has been my sister, my friend, my everything, my supporter in all of our program when I was a University of Lagos undergraduate. You know, if you know her, you know the one I'm talking about. And she ran a program where she mobilized a lot of funding, a lot of impact and all that for the institute. So there was a dimension to operate with them. There was a dimension to operate with Chamber of Shipping. We had funding, and the funding that we had then was just 150 million, which was under the leadership of Dr. Christopher Kolade, We knew what the funding was. We knew how it's connected. We had all the plan. We had all the meeting. Nnamdi Eromini was working with us then. And before we knew what happened, Nigerian factor happened. Let me just say Nigerian factor. I won't share the details. So was one of the reasons why Sapita Femi went to meet Akobuke. But the rest is history. 2014 we ran it alone. We always have graduates signing up that we have to send them back to their states because we can't handle that. 2016 I moved it forward, but every time we make progress about it, it got expanded. Any missing link gets added, like you say A, B, C, D, we are on D. This year, the next year we move to F. When we struggle 1, 2, 3 years, probably we move to G, I, J, K, until the Lagos State government intervention. I thought CIOTA was going to hit the ground running, but unfortunately, same stories. All power, no results on the table. So we waited and waited and waited to see direction. We did not see any. Waited and waited to communicate with the president. No time, no attention. The issue began to generate ripples, and I called the right authorities to tell me what exactly is the problem. And I know what the problem is. But the problem is not what I want to dwell on, but the solution. We are presently in a situation in the country where we have 2 Fulani men in charge of each of these institutes under a Fulani hegemony economy, and no one can make any progress. Is this also the fault of Lord Bugatti again? As a Nigerian, think and stop failing the next generation, without which there is no future for anybody. Not the governments, not the big men, not the small men. So we need to think and rethink as a matter of urgency. I tried to reach Dr. Bashir Jamo and I tried to reach Mr. Ibrahim Chudra. Because in 2019, ours is a human capital development organization, aside what we do, other things that we do. In 2019, when I had decided I was not doing anything with Nigeria, and I changed our portfolio to strictly international companies and governments. And we have this delegation led by the Ministry of Economics and Energy, German Ministry of Economics and Energy, who led 28 investors into the country. We had a meeting at the Consular General's residence. We had meetings at Eco Atlantic. We had all sorts of things. And the one resolution was, why can't Nigerian companies and organizations work together? One of my friends that I have worked with while he was in Nigeria, who left in 2016, was on that team. So he said, me, I'm not a visitor. I know Nigeria, and this is where I'm going to work with. He actually, like Mr. Jenkins, will carry my card and introduce to all the expatriate community. We work at Shoreline, we work everywhere together. So I got to other German companies through him. Dual vocational training. International companies, training companies come into Nigeria, grossing billions from Nigerian companies. Yes, CILT and CIOTA can't innovate for how many decades? And we have 2 Fulani men at the top of these 2 institutes. We should make it easy. They are both from Kaduna, they are both Muslims, they are both Fulani, they are both brothers, they are both in human capital, they are both presidents of institutes. Yes, I understand some of the issues. I'm not putting my mouth in what those issues are. But lives are hanging, human destinies are hanging. And I'm hanging on behalf of the 5,000 graduates that are hooked in that system. So who will shift ground? Who do I need to talk to? Again, this portfolio that started from 150 million had grown into 2.5 billion portfolio under us. And I tell people, if I'm in London and I write to the Queen of England, I'm going to get a response. Or I write to anybody, government or private sector, I'm going to get a response without knowing anybody or without going through anybody. But we are in Nigeria. In Nigeria, if you like, go to Harvard, Stanford, Cambridge, Yale, and MIT, and everything together. This is a place where psychophancy and political patronage pays. So you have to still go and humble that thing under somebody that knows government, whether they know president, whether they know Abba Kyari, whether they know Maman Dara or they know minister, or you have to find a political person just for the political advantage to get what you want in whatever outfit it is. That's just the reason why we need people. And I say, okay, you take this part, you take this part, you do this part. Because at the German delegation also that we're talking about, it was about synergy. I was embarrassed when they kept calling out Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. And when they can't find unity, they just come. Lucas Nule has been making money in this country for more than 25 years. VDMA, even those ones handle GIZ, Sky Employment Program, and all that and all that. But this is a particular program that we've held on for 7 years, that is our own flagship program, that refused to scale because the leaders that we're trying to work with are not seeing what we are seeing. I'm beating my chest. I will single-handedly mobilize 2.5 billion to 10 billion naira into that project. But how many years have we wasted just to political bickering, just to power? Honestly, it's becoming so annoying and tiring. And I told Alex, hold the international bloc. I said, see your country. When we tell you people that this is the reason why we divest out of your country, we make a decision because we saw the future. Nigeria can't get anything done. And I'm in tears, I'm crying. Because 80% of foreign investors have shown their interest of Nigeria because of things like this. They have the money, but they won't put it down. They'll go somewhere else because money is not emotional. Not that we are not intelligent, we are not synergized. We are not synergized. I said, so when people complain, do they think all those meetings that we hold in a hotel, all those fancy money that we spend is just for nothing? No! They are signing deals. We sat with Dr. Wolfgang Boloff, and he told us he's an 85-year-old man, grossing about 850 million euros annually. He said, no, he wants to be responsible for all our business on that table and all that. Quiet man, only assuming their company is 167 years old. Started by his grandfather, handed over to the father, and now he's in charge, and now handing over to his children. 167 years, they're still looking for partnership. The company that I was working with, my first flagship company on the German platform, is a 101-year-old German company. They are partnering with another Estonian company that already have 55 clients on board, including Dangote Refinery, Olam, Nigerian Breweries, Nigerian Brewery, Guinness, and all that of that status 44. Still partnering. You handle one part. JS handle one part. This international company, Alga handles one part. International companies with over 300, 400 years cumulative experience are synergizing on projects, partnering on initiatives, partnering on core businesses. Why CILT and CIOTA? Like I said, I'm not interested in the politics, I'm interested in the economics and the money, I'm interested in the results. So what is the way forward? I'm not speaking for myself, I have my whole life, but I stand for a generation, and for a decade that generation has not made progress, and we have new generation of leaders on the table, and we're still having this small problem. In March 2020, we were in the midst of this work when Corona happened, and they appointed Dr. Bashir Jamo as DG, and they winked their nose and said, "Shebi, they say he's the president's person." I stood my feet, I said, no, it's not just a president person, he's an industry person, he knows what he's doing. I spoke all the English, because whatever I said, they believe me. I said, he's going to do a lot. He's going to hit the ground running. He's going to turn Nigeria to heaven. He's going to do this. I spoke all the English. He even wrote a book. He's president of this. He got a charter status of this. Because if you don't speak positively about your country, it's going to affect you. So I spoke very well. I even wanted him to meet him. I said, no, when you come back in the second quarter, thank God Corona kept them out. 1 year later, they hacked me out. I couldn't tell them that I've not been able to make any progress. Because the recession we told you. When Adiza Bala Usman was sacked, I said, no, it's politics. It's not corruption. But how long are we going to consider this? The thing is, there is money to be made. There are things to be done. Young people's destinies are hanging. Even the core professionals are aware the house is divided. This shouldn't be happening under an economy led by a Buhari who says it is only Fulani people that can do things. I'm a Yoruba girl, I'm in Lagos. And you know me, individually, you know what I stand for. So who do we work with? Who do we talk to? Who do we engage? This thing has to be solved between now and September for the reason that I'm going to explain now in the next video. And cutting the videos into 30 minutes per 2 parts so that it doesn't become too lengthy. So kindly permit me and kindly bear with me. Thank you as we come to the end of this particular episode. So, behind me is a guy that is actually tied Apologies, let me do this. There's a guy that is tied. You can see how tied he is. And below that, we have let's get you out of unemployment. At the top, you have Africa is the youngest continent with over 70% of the youth unemployed. That was Ban Ki-moon when he was UN Secretary General. Also behind me right here is a lot of people at the back scrambling for wherever it is. Then you see one at the front standing out. You can see my book there and all that. Like I said, this is just one component of our initiative, but seems to be the biggest. And when we find, I think there was a video where I talked about how when things are difficult, when things look gargantuan, when it looks like a goal is unachievable, unattainable, those are the places where I like to prove my onions. I think there's a video on that. And when I got thinking about this documentation, there is a name that readily comes to mind. Tony Delumelu. You see, there are some of us, the Nigerian men have to get used to the fact that we aren't going to be proper African women that they want us to be. Not because we want to be, just because of the way, the path that life has charted for us. Okonjo-Iweala is there. She was in Nigeria. She didn't succeed. She succeeded actually, but the system worked against her, and she would be getting herself out of the country. And I told people, you think she will get to WTO, and the only thing she wants to focus on is Nigeria. She works with men morning, afternoon, and night. Head of corporations, head of nations, and all that. And she can fulfill her dream there because she's working with men with a different mindset entirely. Men who don't see her as inferior to themselves. Jacinda Ardern even became a mother when she became Prime Minister of New Zealand. She was carrying a baby while being president, and she still does her job. She handled the pandemic very well. She does a lot of things. Read about her. Hillary Clinton, Aroma Ote, Obieze Kwesile, and all that, and so much more. Even Yumukwa Oshika, even my boss, they don't want to go without talking about her. So many others. So there has been heroes. So some of us that have chosen this path, or for whatever reason God has brought us into this, and it's not as if we like hard work. It's not as if we like struggle. It's not as if, but this is what God said I should do. Many times I've told him, come and collect your work. This wahala is too much. They fight me because I'm a woman. They fight me because I'm young. They say because I'm outspoken. Because I'm intelligent. My first challenge in 2010 was that a woman told me that I'm too academic, I'm too intelligent, I'll stop my job. After helping her gain extra $5 million consultancy work. Another one was Mrs. Ife Akerele in 2013 who told me that lady is too intelligent. And another one was Mrs. Irene McFoyhat on the NSDP project, who was the only woman and the one blocking me while all the men were supporting me. The only man that did not work, that worked against me on that was Greg Ogbefon, who did not even have any part to play. Oga Jobri was Maritime Labour Director. Sani Mohammed was Director of Procurement. The day they called us from procurement, I never heard that name before. So they have checked the file. We are the only one that has done the right thing. Can I come for a meeting? I said meeting. And when I went, I said, the problem is when I walk into a place, they see a small body. They look at the woman that is talking and the person that they've been hearing her voice. They can't match the two together. Small body, big engine, big brain, big mouth. And we got talking, and I said, can we put this behind us? Can we move forward? What are the issues? And I told them what the issues that I guided him. And they said, he will act accordingly. But again, the system and all that. Everywhere, I've had my gender working against me and my age that I have to speak about it. And I tell people that I'm not old and I'm not young. I'm still in my 30s. I only started life early. 8 years old, I finished primary school. 14 years old, I finished secondary school. 16 years old, I got to institution. 19 years old, I graduated. And I started learning what they call vision, purpose. So I never had the opportunity to be deviated into rubbish. And the people that we trained, we empowered, we mentored in the last 10 years are no longer youth. They are mothers and fathers of children. Yes, I can call them by name, but some of them have even grown bigger than me. Olawale Ayilara Landway Investments. I'm so surprised at this in 2012 when he graduated from TASWED. He invited me to come and speak to them. I just recovered from accident. I went. I even gave them my book. I left it on their campus. Today is a very big boy in real estate. Recently, I even met with Dangote at a private meeting and all that. Olawale Ayilara, land where investment. I'm not sure anybody wants to buy land in Lekki Ekpe that he will not need the guy or his company. So many that have ventured into different things. Some even under our maritime conversion program have even started their company and all that. Some have two, mothers of three, fathers and all that. Maybe I will even do a get-together party and call them all together and see where they are. But I know where many of them are actually. So imagine if we scale to what we are planning to. And sincerely, even when I had issue with Greg, I was training some of them. And their projects, their CFAX had called for CVs of 14 of them. We were in the middle of that before the Wahala suddenly happened. Do you know these young people told me, Madam, we are behind you. Don't worry about the losses. And I still encourage them about the future. They are still optimistic. And there are hundreds and hundreds of them like that. We receive emails. We receive phone calls. But we just keep quiet. Why? We know what to do from A to Z. We know who should be arrowhead of this, who should be arrowhead of that. But Nigeria can't synergize. Nigeria can't sit on the table to get simple things done. How do we want the international countries to respect us? I'm sorry, but this has to be said. It was ordinary politics they played against us as IMO. They said Kenya. They know what they are doing. We know everything. We can speak all the grammar. We can raise delegation. We can do all the meetings. We can support financially. But when we are telling us that our house is porous, take this. It could even be small thing that they needed to do. They won't listen because she's a woman. She's young. Because who are they? We've been here before you were born. That's how we lose out. On the expatriate tables where I work, there is nobody that is my mate there. But they will say, Ronke, what do you think? Employment clinic, what do you think? We will hold meetings. Sometimes your head is running mad like. But you know what? The meeting is to fine-tune details. And everybody is running with each of their own tasks from A to Z. And nothing is left undone. That's how we achieve results. Until when it comes to working with Nigerians. And this has to stop. Particularly when Dr. Jamo was talking that he said the president asked him, are you going to add value to these institutes? And he answered in the affirmative. He wasn't talking to me personally. I was in his office when he was having that conversation. There was a lot of excitement when I was speaking the lessons. And he was telling the president what he would do and the position where the training, the certification could have helped the president when he was transport officer in the military days and all that. And they said, the president laughed and said, since you are my senior now, oh yeah, take your file, go and sign it by yourself. And he opened the door and handed it over to him. He said he was shaking, and when he saw it, it has been signed. He said, and the president busted into laughter. I used to tell him political power is not easy. If anybody says it's because you have political power that you are doing something, he said, tell them to go and get their own political power. If it is easy, me, I go get them. I'm climbing my own staircase. I've not gotten there. Because I could not even combine politics with the real work. If anybody says intellectual work is easy, go and do your own. Now, where are your children? So if anybody says somebody has political power and is not, and it's because of that, you go and get it if it's easy. Little me, I know how many millions I sunk into traveling, hotel, energy. Sometimes you are just, I chose to retire. Nothing is wrong with me. Because if I'm doing TV, I'm doing MCP, I'm doing every single day, I'm either on the plane, I'm either on meetings and all that. Yes, I'm going to do all my work. I have all my team, I have all my people. We build people, we have legs, we have tentacles, at home and abroad. Things just needed to be readjusted. What we needed to shut down, it can't work in Nigeria, take it abroad. We did. But the basic ones, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, is our responsibility. And we need to make it work. How can we waste 4-5 years doing politics? And we can't move something that will shake the world. Tony Elumelu owns UBA. Yes, he's been successful with UBA. The same Tony Elumelu owns Transco. He's successful with Transco on his own. He owns Tiagro Agriculture, which is successful in its own. Power Hugeli, which is ongoing. Tony Elumelu Foundation, this is what I want to talk about. He appointed a woman and allowed her to run things. I tell people there will always be godfathers. Don't think I'm against godfatherism. If you think it's easy, go do them. As small as I am a godmother. I don't like the title. But I know I am an institute of my own. I'm a force on my own. People say, if you want to do talk with the wrong guy. Yes, I know who to call. I know who to talk to. If something is not working, I'm looking at the Corona. I say, this is the point to plug. This is what to do. And it's always work out. Some places they don't even applaud, but they would use it. And they know that I know what I'm saying. I hate titles. But imagine if Tony Elumelu wants to control the MD of Tony Elumelu Foundation, for instance. It is our business to drop up the programs, to talk to partners, to talk to funders, to hold the meetings, to do everything, because the foundation has a vision. They started with 5,000 seed funding for each organization, training, mentorship, capacity building, and all sorts. He put down the first $100 million. We'll go and find out what that thing has grown into. If he didn't allow the person who knows how to do the job, he is going to fail. But does that stop him from being the champion? No. Imagine him saying he wants to leave what he's doing and be the one to run it. It's not going to work. But forever, say Tony Elumelu. So knowing how to allow people lead, in some cases, delegating appropriately is a hallmark of leadership. I don't have to be a Hausa person before you listen to me. I don't have to be a man, and I don't have to be old, to be 60, to be 50. I don't have to come with recommendation from any big man. That's why I said, Oga Jubri, I work with you. You listen to me directly. We met at the office, we talked. I remember Sani Mohammed meeting us there. At the point I had to work out so you could attend to work and all that. You move with your board and all that. Yes, at that time, the capacity was not complete. It has grown. How can CILT and CIOTA, headed by 2 Hausa men, 2 Fulani men, 2 Kaduna men, 2 Muslims, 2 brothers, tell me they can't do this in 5 years? How do you want to convince international companies to partner with you? DVT, this is the private sector led skills acquisition, blah 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 blah. All the companies, some of them 25 years in Nigeria, they go and come and they're making money. There is money in training. I'm just one cluster. All the map is inside my stomach. If it wasn't my experience with Chamber of Shipping and Greg Obefu on sit-time training, before I would have given everything and said put it on the table. Now I hold 99% in my stomach. I start with 1%. Let us start. When we start, leave me to run it. You have an institute that can certify people. That's their responsibility. You have a platform. You have facility. What are we adding to it? One needs to be rejigged. One needs to be built. I know who to do what from A to Z. All your lecturers will be my stand. They will earn money. Or the young people will earn their CPS. They will earn their internship and all that. But if 2 people lock arms and refuse to do the right thing, the 2 platforms are going to be standstill. And it's the same thing that has affected everything in our industry, which has gotten to the peak. Destinies are hanging. I remember when the minister came, the Minister for Transport, and held the meeting, and they said they were talking about national fleet. I only made one call. After all the noise at the beginning of this administration, where's the national fleet today? No, all noise and no substance. Because it is not those that are making endless noise through media packaging that really knows what they are saying. And just one phone call to the right person, like I said, when that agenda was being shouted up and down, he told me it won't fly, giving me just one very valid reason. And he was right. Because after all the ministerial meeting, the minister is a proactive person. He led them to PIL, I think Singapore or so, the Nigerian ship owners. And the minister said he was disappointed. Even the Nigerians on the table didn't have money. And I will look for that magazine. So the noise about national fleet nosedived. And that's what's going to happen to CVFF again if they don't listen, which I want to address here. Do not distribute that money to Nigerian ship owners, because you won't get a dime back, even in 10 years from now. But follow the path of Start Oil, and then maybe you can make progress. Start Oil combined 100 companies together into one, and say go to Nigeria, go to anywhere in the world. Anything they are looking for, they meet a capacity on the table. They are flying. Go and read about Start Oil. I said even the 100-year-old German company that we're working with, we had another 53-year-old one joining, 27-year-old student joining, 167-year-old one, all forming together. How can that company be on the table? And you say they won't be a force to reckon with. They say they are fighting for $200 million, and for how many years they can't solve the problem? I have a young lady like myself who is sitting on 8.9 billion euros. No shouts. All of us will sit down and have small meetings like this. MD Commerce Bank, German Consular General, this one, Commercial Consular, this one. They will be asking you for the part that concerns you. They will not say because they are this, they are that, they know everything. They will consult A to Z until they get the results. Those are the people you are competing with. So all this, despite all these monies and capacities, at that level they are still talking about synergy, collaboration, partnership. But a Nigerian company that is in the pocket of one man will just be making noise up and down. And you not think giving them money will make any difference. It's not going to make any difference. And there are some things that I can't put on record, but I've been listening to what everybody has been saying. The ship owners, the government people, the this, the that, the conundrum. I've been looking. Foreign investments, direct and indirect, into Nigeria has reduced by 80% under this administration. So what makes you think Nigerian companies will thrive just by sharing money to them? I said the white man knows the next 10, 20 years of your country that you don't even know beyond politics. They would have engaged policy rooms. They would have looked at so many things, which is usually not always visible to Nigerian sentiments and emotion. Because we judge based on sentiments and emotions. Pride and arrogance doesn't allow us to engage the right people on the table because we feel intimidated by their intelligence. And sometimes their age and gender and all sorts of yardsticks that we use in measuring capacities. But at the end of the day, the public sector doesn't do business. We are the ones who do business. Making practical decisions about money. We can tell you how real economic decisions are being made on money when it comes to business decisions. That is why you always see government people and companies make plenty promises to government. We are investing $10 billion. We are investing XYZ billion in the Nigerian economy. But at the end of the day, it becomes audio because the terms are not right. The ropes are not connected. The entire value chain, they've looked at the entire value chain from A to Z, leaving all loopholes, no matter how little. So they are always ahead. But in Nigeria, it's all about empty emotions, pride, hate, thinking power torso. That is not leading anybody anywhere. So it's time we adopt a new approach. So white man, international company, this and that, they are controlling. Look at their strategy. Are you doing what they are doing? If you distribute that money to the people you call Nigerian ship owners, I'm saying it again with my big mouth, you're not going to get any kobo back. It's either they go and follow the path of Start Oil, or they start a national fleet, buy brand new vessels of the highest capacity, tap people from across board who knows what they are doing to run this thing. Even if expatriates need to join them, let them join. We have gone past the age where somebody will say it has to be Nigerian driven. No, you don't have the money. You do not have the money. How much is $200 million? Paystack, 35-year-old and 33-year-old guy. That was what they had on Paystack. How can elderly people, 60, 70, 80, 40, 57, be rambling all around for 12, 15 years on one issue? And you want the world to take you serious? I'm sorry, these things have to be said. It's becoming annoying. It's becoming nauseating. I read here in this magazine on my laps, Nigeria losing out in $6 trillion global maritime industry ship owners. And I laughed. Are these not the people that we know? They said that the global maritime industry is currently worth over blah, blah, blah. They also stated that the revenue from the industry sustains the economies of nations, but regretted that Nigeria is not partaking in these resources. We can't. Your house is not in order. The right people are not on the table. Speaking at the stakeholders validation meeting on the draft national transport maritime policy in Lagos, blah 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 blah, Dr. McGeorge Onyong said this is generated daily by the industry dominated by foreign players who also play on the Nigeria's territorial and coastal waters. He explained that until a proper policy is put in place to ensure that Nigeria takes a rightful place in the global maritime industry, Nigerians and Nigeria will continue to lose out in this revenue generated from this industry. Blah, 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 blah. He stated, as far as I know, the industry is a $6 trillion annual industry, and from our calculation and accounts, it can make $16 billion a day, $980 million in hour, and $11 million per minute. Good. Everybody knows how to talk. But do we know how to do the work? I'm happy he talked about policy. How many people have you funded into policy rooms? I got myself into policy rooms where they said, sit down and drive the thing, gather everybody together, show us the next way forward, drive things. And I remember promising Captain Emmanuel Iheanacho in 2017 that this platform is going to be consistent for the next 20-25 years. I'm going to sacrifice myself to be at the front burner of the table. I do not have enemies, not one in all my years here, even up until now. There is something Oyedepo tells me, advance forgiveness. Before your enemies offend you, forgive them, because they have only acted according to their capacity. So if I don't talk that somebody say I'm too intelligent and sure they don't hurt me, I do not see it as a problem. I see it as a person's problem. You have acted your age and your capacity. That's your problem. I will stomach it, but I know who you are. I spoke to somebody, they said, what did you go and do there? We've known her since when she was as young as you. When 3-4 people say somebody he doesn't have integrity, you just take it, you move on. You think I'll be fighting that? If Greg did not get to the peak, I won't fight him. And like somebody said, if he doesn't like noise, he wouldn't have involved the police. He involved the police, he put you in the media. So do they expect you to keep quiet so that they can kill your destiny? No, you share your own story. That's the only reason why you heard noise. After that, I will not put myself in a position where anybody can mess with me. That's why before I put everything 100% in paper. No, now I give you 1%. When you misbehave on 1%, I just smile and move on. There is 99% left in my stomach. Except you can cut the stomach and bring out my intestine. That's when you will see the 99. So if you think you cheated me on 1%, I will just laugh at your foolishness. Whosoever you have. I have 99 in me. You have only shown me who you are. That's how I deal with Nigerians. But when you're sitting down with expanded, that is why they dominate. If you don't know, they will tell us, Ronki, tell your country to hand over everything to us. We will make it work within a few years and take care of you. You've got something. How did they identify that I've got something to offer? They don't sleep with me. They don't even ask me out. I even say it when Jenkins was started. I said, let us make a presentation to your management so they don't think they introduced me. So on the day crisis wanted to happen, Dr. Afolabi was asking me, who introduced this company? I said, I came by myself. I know everybody by myself. I don't like people introduce me on any table. Because the day Wahala will happen, let them know that I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm doing. Nobody introduced me to any SG. My friend, Demola Rewaju, nominated my name. And ever since from day one, I've been talking maritime. Everything is documented in their materials till today. Everybody wants to go and take the front seat. They say, no, we have done our background check. We don't want this person, we don't want it. You want you. Who will drive the work? The way I want to drive it, I know it. You are a ship owner, go and face your business. It is us in the policy room that knows what to be done. We know who are the people that are calling the shots. We know how these things have to go and be plugged as that. Who is funding us? Even private sector people complaining. How many people are they funding in policy rooms? See how this synergy can work and spill over so many things. Bam. At the end of the day, everybody will be benefiting. That's why I said everybody within the value chain has something to offer. But when you remove the hey, how do you get to Z? And you're playing politics, sentiments. Recently, I get angry, and everybody says that to me also. What is all this meeting, picture everywhere? It's nothing. If people are 70-year-olds, 80-year-old, have spent 45 years, 50 years, 40 years, and they cannot change the industry with all that they know, isn't it time for them to understand that if their strategy isn't working, it's time to step aside for people to adopt a new strategy? Let them even adopt this strategy. Let us even see what they are talking about. Do they really know what they are doing? Because Next 27 just released their thing that says securing the future, the fierce urgency of the now. Securing the future. Nigeria does things as if they have two lives. Yeah. Sorry, I want to be sure of the thing. Yes, securing our future. The fierce urgency of now. Not just an urgency, a fierce one. I look at 2016 to 2021. What could have happened? What could have happened? Even if there are 10 partners doing a 10 billion job, and each one is going to earn for 500 million. And 5 billion is going to be for execution. Isn't it something? Then you said the person that knows what she's doing, you don't want him or her on the table. You have lost that. And it's not just that, so many other things that you can start that other country will come and call you, come and duplicate this in our country. Come and tell us how you do it. Funding comes from everywhere. And we are telling the people that hold the funding, keep your money, oh. The house is not yet in order. There was something that happened in agricultural value chain before somebody gave $100 million to Indy to trade. Those things must happen in the maritime. I can vouch for you. I'm standing here and it's not empty boasting. I know what to do. Allow me to do it. But on which platform? CILT or CIOTA. If we say you, talk to government, talk to governor XYZ, this is where the money is, this is how we collect, this is how to make the presentation, this is the dynamics. Do it and see if they will not give you the money. But Nigerians will kill you before the money arrived. They will use policies to sideline you. And I tell people, the money that you raise organically, nobody can come and question you, since it's not government money. But there has to be certain things that needs to be done fundamentally. But we are not doing it. For what reasons? We know. We should discuss it. We should discuss this in-house. Honestly, I'm tired. I do not have any personal problem. I just wanted to take up these things again because there are destinies engaged. So if you promise the president you are going to make impact to that institute, why is the institute not making progress? Busy is not the problem. Tony Elumelu is busy. Delegates. To who? You have we've been talking to you. Are you listening? Delegates. Tony Elumelu is running UBA. He delegated. He's running the foundation. He delegated. African nations are now partnering with him. Oyedepo, his patron, and all that, and all that. And all the young people that they have developed, Budget is one of them, CC Hub and all that. They funded a few years ago. They are now unicorns on their own. They've gone to Chatham House. They've been invited by Cameron. They've been invited by Obama. They've been invited into powerful places, Oxford and all that, Yaga. And there are so many things across Africa. So Transcorp is doing its own, achieving its vision. UBA same. Even now they've added X Insurance, doing another thing, So one person can do this. Why not you? I tell people it's very easy for me to send a mail to the global MD of MSC and get a response than it is for me to send a mail to the DG Nimasa. Why? I don't know. It's very easy for me to send a mail to commercial counselor of a particular embassy or even German consular general, and I will get a response. I'll get one phone call or email and I get a referral and I get a meeting in 2-3 days. It's not easy to get a pepper seller in the Nigerian maritime industry that doesn't even have a ship. What's this arrogance? I'm tired. What's wrong with our system? This is not a problem of low regard. This is not a problem of low regard. Please, if you want to harass me, please call me. Tell me where to surrender myself. You all know me one-on-one. I have to address this. It is not about you. It is not about me. Me, I've made my mark. Me, I've retired. Phase 1. I'm in phase 2, where I re-engage myself on behalf of 5,000 lives. Because the money has been looking at us like this. We didn't make the money. And only me cannot do the work. The work, certain part of it involves some other people. If those people can't didn't do their own parts, I'm limited. The young people are limited. So why are we leaders? It takes a level of intelligence to know that this person, I can work with him, I can work with that. These are the challenges. There is no place where there are no challenges. We have dealt with wicked problems. On the international platform, on local, there is wicked problem everywhere. There are wicked problems everywhere. So what's all this one that we cannot solve? I'm sorry, I want to stop this one here. But at least I've said some things in my mind that I want to say, particularly on the CILT-CIOTA Conundrum, on the good people in my life journey, and all that. Honestly, all the expatriate meetings that we hold everywhere on the island, don't think it's joke. It's not for fun. Companies are traveling in and out, signing deals, and we're just playing and wasting our lives, the lives of the next generation, with mediocrity and pettiness, yet blaming Buhari. This is not Buhari, this is not Jonathan. The president has his work. Other people have their own job. The president should manage the politics that affects him. Other people should manage the politics that affect them. Even me, small self, me, in what we are doing, we have politics that we are handling. That's why I said I have a lot of emotional intelligence, ability to forgive and forget, ability to move past certain things. But at the same time, when you get to a point where you have to put your foot on ground, remove the Jonah in your ship, who is not allowing the ship of your life, go forward. You take it. And that is over. So anybody holding me on that, you've heard so much. Aside that, nobody has any other problem with me. And I do not have any boyfriend in the industry. So whatever I am saying is not emotional. I have a lot of people. You are all my bosses. You are all my friends. I can disagree with you. No. And I agree with you the next minute. Oh, that means this is what needs to be done. Yeah, okay. See your head, big head. Yes, sir. Thank you. Move on. And another day, I go to Bale for you. Oh, me, I need this. Oh, me, this one. That's my life. It's nothing. Oga Jibril is a quiet person. Sani is a talking person. It doesn't make any one of them bad. It doesn't make any one of them good. It's personality. So I am who I am. You are who you are. So my personality shouldn't be a challenge. My gender shouldn't be a challenge. My age shouldn't be a challenge. I'm standing for a generation. Honestly, I want to see that generation progress. Any sacrifice that I've ever made in my life is because of these people. And they are crying. They are groaning. The solution is in our hand. The power is in our hands. Please let us work in their favor so that Buhari can be proud that he signed CIOTA bill, so that the National Assembly can be proud that they signed CILT bill. Two organizations, I can tell you, I'm here for you. Let's work. Let's move. Let's make progress. Let's settle our differences. Let's make our country proud. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And of course, you know my lines are always available. You can call me for a meeting, you know I'll show up. Thank you once again, and you have a great day.